The next problem that I wanted to do is from Chapter 14, Section 5, and it deals with control charts for the range and the mean. So for this type of problem, we have a different type of data. We have numerical data where we're talking about averages and we're talking about ranges. The reason we use the range instead of the standard deviation is because it's easier to calculate and it is related to the standard deviation anyway, because you remember the range divided by 6 is an estimate of sigma. So this problem, 14.18 on page 1420, is basically just helping to make sure that we understand how to use the table in the back of the book. It's the control chart factor table in the back of the book. And in this particular case, this problem, it says subgroups of n equals 4. So that means that we have 4 observations in each group. And what we want to do is just make sure we can read the table, which is table E8, control chart factors. And what we want to do is find the D2, D3, and then the capital D3, D4 factors, and then the A2 factors. That's all we're doing here is just reading from the chart. The key thing about this, the easy place to make a mistake is it's the subgroup size, n equals 4, that we need to look up in the table. So you'll notice as we're beginning to look at the answers to the problem, we're in the control chart factors, table E9. That's actually E9 in this page. And the number of observations is 4 in each sample. So I'm in that row that corresponds to 4 observations across here. Okay? And that's small d2 is 2.059, d3 is 0.880, and both of those we're not going to use a whole lot because we're going to use the other form of the formula, but the 3 that are most important for our purposes will be the next 3. Notice D3, if n equals 4, the D3, capital D3 factor is equal to 0. And what that means is we're not going to have to worry about the lower limit because 0 times anything will give me 0. And the D4 factor is 2.282, wherever the sample size is 4. And then finally, the A2 factor is going to be 0.729 whenever n equals 4. So the 3 that we're going to use most will be D3, D4, and A2. So don't worry too much about the other 2. But again, the key mistake, or the mistake that's easy to make, is to be in the wrong row of the table. So whenever we're talking about finding these factors in the table, it's always the size of the subgroup or the number of observations in the group, not the number of periods on which we took observations. Okay? So that's just how to use the table, how to find the control chart factors that we'll need to use to find upper and lower limits, and to calculate X double bar.